So here we go. Okay, that's your explicit rule, explicit formula, explicit form, or the rule for the nth term. That's it. Okay. This is your common difference. It's given. 3/2 or 1.5. You can use either or, whatever your preference is. This doesn't get substituted when we're solving for the rule. This is your first term. This is the nth term, meaning it's a general ambiguous. Okay, so they want us to give the explicit formula, except they gave us the 13th term. So if they give us then that means n is 13. And the term, the 13th term value is 30. I'm going to move it up now. Right? So even though they give you A13, A sub 13 equal to 30, you guys have to know that 13 is n. Okay, so if I was to substitute, because obviously they give us the D is 1.5. If you substitute AN is 30, A1 is what I'm looking for, 13 is N, and my common difference is 1.5, and now you're going to distributive property. Can I keep going? Okay. And just FYI, some students will distribute this 13 times 1.5, negative 1 times 1.5. You can go ahead and do that because you're so accustomed to distributing when you see parentheses or grouping symbols. However, I would just subtract first and get the 12. And then 12 times 1.5 or 1.5 is 18. And now you're just on a one step. And just subtract 18 and get 12, right? Okay, so this is my first term, right? So now if it's asking you to write the rule for the nth term, we now have it. A to the n. My first term is 12 plus n minus 1. My common difference is 1.5. Okay, this is your explicit rule unsimplified. We're going to simplify it. So if I wanted to simplify, you're going to distribute that 1.5, right? So I'm going to take it over here. And then distribute. And then now combine your like terms. What's 12 minus 1.5? 10.5, right? And so this is unsimplified, but if you want to put the n first. No, that's right. Okay, so this is or. So this is unsimplified, this is simplified. One has the constant in the front, the other one has the constant in the back and the n in the front. It's just whatever you guys feel comfortable with. But you got to know equivalent statements in math. It's common. Okay, the rest of the problem states to find to graph the sequence. So we'll do the first 5 terms. It doesn't say, but I believe your sheet tells you to find the first 5 terms, so we'll do the first 5. Okay. All right, so that we can graph it, let's find the first 5. The first one is 12, right? Okay, what would be the second one? You can go ahead and substitute, but if your common difference is positive 1.5, what would 2 be? What would the second term be? If you're not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. So then substitute into the explicit formula then. What's the second term? Remember, if you were here yesterday, all of this was written. You just had to pick up here, so you're really not writing very much. So you should be able to tell me what the second term is. Yes. Yes. Okay, so for those of you, for the 2 of you that have given me an answer, you can go ahead and do the 8 to the 5th. For the rest of you, substitute in. Pick your explicit rule, whichever one makes the most sense to you that you prefer. Plug it in and get these numbers.
Are we adding or multiplying in the 1.5?
Okay, so you've been gone. We're doing arithmetic sequences, so we're only adding or subtracting, no multiplying. Just adding, subtracting. So since a 1.5 is positive, you're adding.
We're adding.
So then what would the second term be? She's been gone, but let's just see if she can get it. Remember, you've been gone, so you're free and clear. No, let her think it through. So Lyric, what do you think the second term will be?
We're just adding, right? Okay.
So what will it be? No, let her do it.
Can I have a calculator? I'm not good with numbers in my head.
Alright, no, grab a calculator or use your phone. Because it's not a quiz, so you can use your phone. Hold on, yeah. Perfect. Okay, so for those of you that are copying, that's wonderful. You should copy it. But again, I record it. But also, you should be thinking as you're writing. You should not just be copying just to copy without any kind of activity going on of recognition of what it is you're writing. Okay, what's the third term? Huh? 15? I know you knew. Okay, so remember, the common difference is 1.5. Whoops, not 15. So what's this?
16. Yeah, and then 18.
Very good. Okay, now, for those of you that are like, yeah, but that's easy, I could do that in my head, what about the actual substitution? Okay, which one do you guys prefer? Do you want to use the unsimplified rule? Oh, I thought you wanted to go. Or do you want one of these?
The simplified.
Unsimplified?
No, the other one.
This one? Okay, so if I want the first term, or well, they gave it to us, the second term, let n equal 2, a to the 2 equal 1.5, n is 2, plus 10.5, so I'm going to substitute into this one, and I get 1.5 times 2 is 3, plus 10.5 gives me 13.5, and so there's my 13.5. So, yes, you do want to know how to put values into your explicit rule, explicit formula. However, you should have some instinct, intuition as to what your term should be if you understand the math. And if the common difference is a positive 1.5, and we're doing an arithmetic sequence, then you should should just be adding 1.5 from term to term. Right? Right? Okay, so can I just pause this? We're gonna graph it, but let me set it up. So I'm gonna stop the recording and then I'll hit recording. Okay. Let's